Pokemon. A review of Ash's World Championship moments. Chapter 1. Sinnoh Region, Lily of the Valley Conference. The electric monster lost its ability to fight, and the winner was Xiaoji's Infernape. The total score was 6-5. Xiaoji won the all-out battle and successfully advanced to the Lily of the Valley tournament. In the semi-finals, Shinji was eliminated in the top 8. At this moment, with the referee's announcement, Xiaoji, wearing a red and black Pokeball hat, also happily hugged his Pikachu. Well, hey, Pikachu, we have made it to the semi-finals again. As long as we can beat our opponents in the semi-finals, we can advance to the finals, and maybe we can win our first League Conference Championship. At this moment, Xiaoji was very happy. Not only because he defeated Shinji, but also because his Infernape overcame the burden in his heart and successfully reversed and defeated Electabuzz. You know, Infernape used to be Shinji's Pokemon when it was a baby, but after Xiaoji received Infernape, he evolved and trained it all the way to this point. And now that the battle between the strong rivals has been decided, this is also a thing that makes Xiaoji, Xiaoji's entire team, and Xiaoji's support team very happy. Poga Poga. At this moment, Xiaoguang's Pogamon was waving his little ball happily, cheering for his good friend. In his eyes, Xiaoji was naturally his good friend, because Xiaoji and Xiaoguang were the best of friends. On the side, Xiaoguang, who was wearing a white Pokeball hat and a black and red skirt, was also very happy. At this moment, she was also very happy to hug her Pogamon. Great, Pogomon, if our Xiaoji can advance to the semi-finals this time, it means he is not far from the finals, maybe we can see Xiaoji win the championship with our own eyes. While talking, Xiaoguang also held Pogomon in his arms and rubbed him intimately. At this moment, a dark-skinned and steady young man beside him also nodded slightly, but his eyes revealed a trace of worry. He has been traveling with Xiaoji since the Kanto region. Although they have been separated on the road, Xiaogang has always insisted on staying with Xiaoji. I heard that the semi-finalist this time is a trainer named Darko, who has Darkrai. This Pokemon is not so easy to deal with. And I heard that this trainer named Darko has never taken out a second Pokemon while challenging gyms all the way. He is very scary. After Xiaogang finished speaking, Xiaoguang beside him immediately cheered and encouraged the atmosphere, but soon she also shouted, "It's okay, don't bring alcohol." It's okay, Xiaogang. I believe Xiaoji can handle this matter properly. The legendary Pokemon are not invincible either. At this moment, Ah Jun, who had yellow hair and was wearing a white short-sleeved shirt, also agreed with Xiaoguang's opinion. That's right, Xiaogang, we have to believe in Xiaoji, the legendary Pokemon is not invincible. And this time, Xiaoji was able to beat my idol Shinji, which means Xiaoji is really amazing. You know, I used to agree with Shinji's training method. While Xiaoji's support team continued to cheer Xiaoji, Xiaoji had already taken his Infernape back and looked at Shinji as if he was going to say something. Shinji looked at Xiaoji silently at this moment, and lowered his eyes, as if he was about to leave the arena with his hands in his trouser pockets. Xiaoji was also in a dilemma when he saw this situation. He wanted to chat with Shinji for a while, because he was very grateful to Shinji for his support along the way. Pikachu. At this moment, Pikachu stood on Xiaoji's shoulder and suddenly raised his eyes to look at the sky, only to see that the sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. What's going on? Is it going to rain? Pikachu. Then, let's go back to the preparation area and have a good rest to prepare for the next semifinal. The local Xiaoji also moved his Pikachu from his shoulders to his clothes. He would not let his best friend get wet in the rain. Even if he got wet, he would not let Pikachu get wet. And because the Infernape had just been put back into the ball, Xiaoji only needed to quickly reunite with his friends. Boom. But just as Xiaoji was about to wave goodbye to Shinji, even though he had already turned his back, Xiaoji was about to say goodbye to Shinji, when suddenly there was a loud noise in the sky, and a transparent light curtain bloomed directly, and everyone was dumbfounded. Including Miss Sorona, who was about to leave at this moment, was also suddenly shocked. Could this be the work of Palkia and Dialuca? Could this be the change that occurs after distorting space and manipulating time? No, it's not. As soon as Sorona finished speaking, she saw a silver-purple figure flying in the sky, and a silver-blue figure. These were obviously the two legendary Pokemon, Dialga and Palkia. These two legendary Pokemon were using their respective dragon, water, steel, and dragon attributes to attack the light curtain. And Palkia's subspace slash was also used directly. Dialga's time roar was also used. But it was very obvious that the most signature skills of these two legendary Pokemon, when hitting this light curtain, were like tickling, and did not cause any damage at all. Pikachu, prepare to fight. At this moment, after seeing Dialga and Palkia attacking the light curtain, Xiaoji subconsciously regarded the light curtain as an evil existence and a bad guy. He also wanted his Pikachu to attack the light curtain. At this moment, a black shadow suddenly appeared. Don't act rashly. At this moment, a trainer in a red robe raised his hand to stop Xiaoji. Darkrai, we are on guard around here. Following the command of the red robe trainer, the floating ghost-like Pokemon he called Darkrai, which exuded an evil aura, nodded. Xiaoji, you are not hurt, right? Xiaoji, how are you? This is Darkrai, are you Mr. Darko? Along with Xiaoguang's concern, Xiaoging's shock, questioning and curiosity, Darko nodded. Ding, the inventory exposure system has arrived in the Pokemon world. The chat group is under construction. The construction of the Tianshuan chat group is completed. Only powerful trainers can be selected into the chat group. Accompanied by this voice, all the selected trainers' hearts rang out, and they already knew that this was a magical will that they did not understand. But at the same time, they also understood that this will did not harm them at all. And they could also switch their vision and will in reality to this virtual chat group at any time, and they would not be damaged or disturbed in any way. Adu, was this something that Team Rocket did? Was this something that Sakari did? Since this is a chat group for the chosen ones, I think Sakari is more or less a chosen one, so let me say a few words. Musashi. Hedgehog head, what do you mean? Don't think that we won't cause trouble for you just because we're selling ice cream on the spot. I advise you to be more respectful to our boss Sakari. Zyba. Ha 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 ha, I never thought that one day you, Adu, would be called a hedgehog head. To be honest, I think your hairstyle is better described as an afro. Serena. Hey, no one seems to be worried that this unknown existence will hurt us. Although it seems that he really didn't hurt us. Xiaoji. Oh, Serena, you are here too, are you also the chosen one? But we haven't seen each other for a long time, I am 13 years old this year. We met when we were 5 years old, it has been 7 years. Hanako. Oh, I didn't expect my Satoshi to be able to pick up girls. And your math is wrong, it's 8 years. Chibana. Let me correct you all. This is not a place for you to chat. We should invite the world's strongest Mr. Dandy to preside over the overall situation. With the first wave of group members communicating in the chat group. For a while, the chat group was very lively. Some were curious about how this chat group came about and wanted to get to the bottom of it. Some were already arguing in the chat group. Or maybe they were in the chat group to strengthen the relationship between old friends. Xiaomao. Xiaoji, are you also in this chat group? I don't understand. But your performance in the semi-finals today was very good. I think you will definitely win the World Championship one day. Chibana. Xiaomao. Xiaomao. What a familiar name. Are you Professor Oak's grandson? It's a bit too early for you to say that now. When this Xiaoji comes to the Kwangguan Arena and beats me, we can talk about challenging the single region champion. Dante. Chibana, don't be so direct. I still welcome all trainers' challenges. I will be waiting for you in the Galar region. And this time, everyone just talked about Xiaoji's ongoing quarterfinals. I also heard about it in the lounge of Galar's Palace Gate Arena. Xiaoji, you are very good. Xiaoji, thank you for the compliment, Mr. Dante. But can someone who knows please explain to me, Mr. Shibana, Mr. Dante, who are these? I don't know them very well. As for the top trainers, I seem to only know Mr. Daigo, Ms. Sorona, and Mr. Kamishiro from Kanto. Of course, Ms. Lila can also be counted, as well as Mr. Adu, Mr. Shiba, and Ms. Kona. At this moment, Xiaoji touched his head in reality, feeling a little embarrassed, but it was indeed like this. He really didn't know who Dandy was, but he knew that since Mr. Dandy was mentioned by everyone, he must be very powerful, and the other Mr. Chibana who was chatting with Xiaomao must be very strong as well. Pikachu, after we wait for someone in the light curtain to explain, We must challenge Mr. Chibana and Mr. Dante in the future, okay? Pika Pika. After confirming that the light curtain would not harm anyone for the time being, Xiaoji and Pikachu continued to sit with their friends, including Xiaoguang, Xiaogang, and Ajin. At this moment, Shinji had also turned back and found a seat close to Xiaoji and the others. Sirona, Xiaoji, let me tell you this. Mr. Dante is the strongest champion trainer in the world. Mr. Chibana is second only to Mr. Dante in the Galar region. He is probably ranked in the top 10 in the world. I am probably in the top 5, and Mr. Daigo is also probably in the top 5. Xiaoji. Oh, doesn't this mean that Mr. Dante is the strongest in the world, and Mr. Chibana is also in the top 10 in the world? Then I will definitely ask Mr. Chibana and Mr. Dante to accept my challenge if I have the chance. Please support me, both seniors. At this moment, Xiaoji's fighting enthusiasm came up, and no one could stop him. On the other side, Dakoto, who also returned to his seat, also spoke in the group. Darko. I didn't expect that I could get to know all the seniors in advance through this chosen one chat group. One day, my level 98 Darkrai will definitely ask Mr. Dendi for advice, Mr. Sirona for advice, and other champion trainers for advice. Xiaoji. Huh. Does this Pokemon have levels? Then what level is my current Pikachu? Daigo. 98. That's amazing of you, Darko. The Pokemon levels are divided from level 1 to level 100. Only trainers above the elite level know this. Because only trainers above the elite level need to divide the levels in detail, the lower trainers actually have a lot of variables in battle. Let me explain it to you briefly, Xiaoji. Obviously, at this moment, Daigo also put down the action of digging stones in Fengyuan area and joined the chat group. Daigo was well educated and immediately started to popularize science. In today's elf world, there are level differences. Level differences represent the difference in the strength of Pokemon and the difference in experience points. It can be said that when the level difference is not big, it is normal to win and lose each other. But if the level difference is huge, basically, it is impossible to win. Of course, every Pokemon has the potential to break through the level. It mainly depends on whether the Pokemon is hardworking, serious, has enough coincidences and talents, and whether the trainer has such a level of training. 1 to 10 primary, very ordinary. 11 to 20 intermediate, barely counted as Pokemon of ordinary trainers. 21 to 30 advanced, can be regarded as elite level Pokemon. 31 to 40 gym, this level can be regarded as the main Pokemon of gym level trainers. And above, the difference is actually more obvious, and there is basically no possibility of any reversal. 41 to 60, quasi-king level, many gym level top trainers Pokemon are basically at this level. Then 41 to 60, there are also quasi-king, elementary, intermediate, advanced and peak. 61 to 70 is the king level. This level of Pokemon can be called the absolute main force of trainers, the absolute trump card of king level trainers, can guard a place, can protect the peace of the city. The main Pokemon of the king level can easily destroy high-rise buildings, and even facing the modern weapons of the rocket team, even facing long guns and short guns, they can completely withstand it. 71 to 80 this is the quasi-champion level Pokemon, probably belonging to the initial stage of the champion level. Their Pokemon can already go to the mountains and seas, against many level 2 mythical beasts. 81 to 90 this level is the real champion level Pokemon. They can fight against the legendary level 2 mythical beasts that master the godhood, such as Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos, Entei, Navy, Thunder God, etc. Those above 90 are the top champion trainers, or master trainers. Similar to Mr. Dante, Mr. Daigo, Ms. Sirona, Ms. Karuna, Mr. Allen, the top 3 or top 5 trainers in the world, or even the top 8 can be considered masters. Their main Pokemon can compete with the first level gods. And they can compete with the first level beasts that master the priesthood. And their responsibilities are also heavy, they have to protect the peace of a region. And when Mr. Daigo contributed this set of his treasured data completely selflessly, the trainers in the entire chat group who have not yet reached the king level or above but have extraordinary potential were also amazed, and at this moment there are other champions who are also making supplements. A deck. What Mr. Daigo said is really great. Let me add one more thing. In fact, above 90 is the absolute threshold for a top champion trainer. If my Vulcan moth hadn't left due to excessive fatigue, I could actually be at this level. And there is also a legendary leader status above the master. As the champion trainer of the Unova region, Adek is a very cool existence. Everyone has heard the story of the Vulcan moth, so after they comforted Adek, they began to cooperate in maintaining the order of their respective regions. Because although only they can see the chat group, in reality, the light curtain in the sky can be seen by everyone, and it has also caused some commotion, and now the light curtain is also shining. Xiaoji. Oh, okay, I get it. Then one day, I will definitely let my Pikachu reach the master level as soon as possible, and then I will definitely challenge Mr. Dendi's master level Charizard. Sirona. Ahem, actually, Mr. Dante's Charizard should be level 99, and my trump card, Lusa, should be level 98, and Mr. Daigo's Metagross should be around level 97 to 98. None of us have reached the level of the headmaster. The headmaster is still a very special state, and we are just masters. As Miss Sirona explained, Mr. Dante, who was in the Palace Gate Arena, also had his mouth fall a little, but it was harmless. He is a very free and easy person, and he also believes that he will be able to surpass the headmaster one day. This light curtain may be an opportunity. At this moment, when Mr. Dante stood up and looked at the light curtain, when people all over the world looked at the light curtain, suddenly a huge colorful light burst out from the light curtain. Ding! Inventory begins. This chosen one will review the legendary trainers. As the light screen shook, the picture gradually began to play. Chibana. Legend. It must be Mr. Dandy. Please help me, the person in this picture looks familiar to me. Dante. This seems to be you, Chibana. Is this arena the place where the 8 Masters tournament is taking place? Sirona. Wait. Why does the other trainer wearing a red Pokeball hat opposite Chibana look so much like Xiaoji? Xiao Mao. I can prove that this is Xiaoji. I can recognize Xiaoji even if he turns into Ash. Wait. The position swap battle of the 8th Masters tournament, what is this? Professor Oak. This matter starts with the Pokemon World Championship. The Pokemon World Championship is an elimination match to determine the strongest king in the world. And the 8 Masters replacement battle is to sort the top 1000 in the ranking of the entire Pokemon Championship. It is a replacement battle between the first player of the Advanced Ball and the last player of the Master Ball level. As Professor Oak explained, many people also widened their eyes and couldn't believe it at all. In other words, the young man wearing a hat in the light curtain, he is the 9th ranked trainer in the world. And at this moment, he is going to challenge the 8th ranked trainer Zabana in the world. What a joke. And some people even said that he is Xiaoji. You know, Xiaoji is only 13 years old. Even if he is a few years older, he will be 18 to 19 years old. Zaiba. Although Zidoro is very good, he has only traveled to Kanto, Chengdu, Fengyuan, and Sinnoh. And the final tournament in Sinnoh will involve fighting against Darko. I just saw the news about Darko, and he has a quasi-god level Pokemon. Could it be that in the future battle, Xiaoji will defeat Darko? That's awesome. Kikuko. Hiba, I think your rare use of your brain this time may be wrong. Even if Xiaoji passes the level of Darkto and plays steadily in the subsequent series of battles, can he rise to the 9th place in the world in such a short time? Looking at Xiaoji in the picture. If it is him, he is probably only 18 or 19 years old. Can he reach the top 9 in the world in 8 or 9 years? This is a bit too exaggerated. As Hiba and Kikuko, 2 king-level trainers in the Kanto region, discussed with each other, many other trainers in the chat group also nodded repeatedly. For them, this is indeed unbelievable. But at this moment, as one of the protagonists who is almost certain, Chibana is indeed very relaxed at the moment. Chibana. I remember that Xiaomao talked about me before, and it seems that Xiaomao and I have talked to each other. Xiaomao and Xiaoji should both be from Pallet Town, so in fact, it would be great if I could have a fight with Xiaoji, because I will definitely win. So, does that mean I must be the legendary trainer? Ha ha ha, does that mean I will defeat Dante in the future? Chibana is also in his own boxing arena at the moment, looking at the light screen while browsing his social media. He is a very trendy person, a very fashionable person, and also a person who has received a lot of attention from fans. He is very sunny and cheerful by nature, so he has no scruples when talking in the chat group, and says whatever he thinks. Kato. Mr. Chibana, how can you say that? Although Xiaoji and I haven't met each other very often, and although I don't know if the person here is Xiaoji. But I think no matter who it is enough to prove his greatness. Being able to exchange with you, Mr. Chibana, and competing with you who is ranked 8th in the world, it means that he must be the 9th in the world, and he is still so young. No matter who it is, Kato is very much looking forward to it. Kato will cheer for him. Kato. The person in charge of the Sakuden Arena in Sakuden Town in the Galar region. He is also a trainer specializing in fighting, and a fighting genius and karate genius that is rare in the Galar region for a century. Kato's personality is actually very strong and confident. She also pays great attention to her etiquette. Originally, she didn't plan to come out and communicate with Zabana face to face in the group, because they are all from Galar and are very familiar with each other. But at this moment, Kato feels that no matter who it is, being able to become the 9th in the world at the age of 18 or 19 must be worth learning from. Mary. Kato is awesome. I want to cheer for him too. Mary, one of the gym leaders in Spike Town in the Galar region, usually manages the gym in Spike Town with her brother Nizi. Usually Mary doesn't talk much, and doesn't smile much, but her action at this moment also makes the shouting team of Spike Town excited, and they also cheer for the unknown existence with a red Pokeball hat. So, before the screen officially plays the battle scene. Before the full faces of the two athletes are officially shown on the light screen. It has already triggered endless discussions, because this legendary trainer is really too attractive. Chibana thinks it must be himself, while Xiaoji thinks that no matter who it is, he can learn from it. As for whether it is him, he thinks there may be a little possibility. But if it is not, Xiaoji thinks he can accept it calmly, because he still has a long way to go. He must defeat his opponent Darko in the semi-finals first. Ding! The battle exposed this time is the position exchange battle between Ash and Chibana in the Pokemon World Championship among the 8 Masters. The ranking at the moment, Chibana is ranked 8th in the Master Ball level, and Ash is ranked 1st in the Advanced Ball level and 9th in the world. In an instant, when the announcement came out, the whole world was boiling. And at the same time, everyone also saw the front of the two trainers in the light curtain. One is Chibana with a slightly dark complexion and orange-yellow hair, and the other is Ash, who is whiter than Chibana, and a little more mature and handsome, wearing a red Pokeball hat. The first person you see is Ash walking out from the right side of the arena. He is still wearing the classic red Pokeball hat, and a blue and white outfit. The Pikachu on his shoulder is also on Ash's shoulder, and is very obediently greeting the audience around him. On the other side, Chibana is walking out from the left side of the arena. He is still wearing the classic black long-sleeved cape, with a golden vest inside, and an orange-yellow hairband, which makes Chibana look even more fashionable. Oh, who? When Chibana waved his hands and raised them high, the big screen in the arena showed Chibana flapping his wings, and the camera at this moment was all over Chibana. The long sleeves and shorts were very fashionable, and the audience in the arena applauded Chibana. Gradually, the lights in the arena lit up, and the two of them were in their positions in the arena, and the camera at this moment switched directly to the commentary booth. One was an auxiliary commentator in work clothes and a dark green tie, and the other was a heavyweight guest. He was Mr. Dante, the strongest trainer in the Galar region, who was wearing a golden red cloak, a black gold hat, and long purple hair. At this moment, the commentator and the guest Dante were interacting in the arena. The subsequent screen was directly given to the referee and the referee's assistant, the Shield Sword Monster. This is the Pokemon World Championship 8 Masters Swap Tournament. Each player can use 3 Pokemon. After this match, it will be the 8 Masters Knockout Tournament. So please prepare yourselves. Following the referee's announcement, the camera split into 3 again, with the referee in the middle, Chibana on the left, and Xiaoji on the right. And at this moment, the camera was also directly given to the wrists on both sides. Musashi. Kojiro, look at this handsome guy with dark skin. The wristband on his hand seems very cool. We have been following the little boy all the way, but we don't seem to have seen this wristband before. Kojiro. Musashi, wait a minute, let me check it out. Also, the crystal on the glove of the little brat on the right seems to be very valuable. Let me check it out carefully. Xiaomao. Tisk, don't check, I'll tell you. Since I started my part-time research, I've traveled to many places in the Pokemon world. The things in Chibana and Xiaoji's hands are called battle systems. Chibana's is called a Dynamax wristband, and Xiaoji's is called a Mega Evolution Stone. But should I say it, Xiaoji actually has a Mega Evolution Stone. This is really strange. Was Xiaoji so strong when he was 18 or 19 years old? With the communication between Musashi, Kojira and Xiaomao in the chat group, many of Xiaoji's support team members had wanted to ask questions before, and now they just solved them. So, which one is more powerful, the Mega Evolution system or the Dynamax system? Xiaogang, do you know? Although Xiaoguang didn't ask in the group at the moment, she couldn't stop herself from quietly nudging Xiaogang with her arm, wanting Xiaogang, who knows everything about Pokemon, to give her some popular science. After hearing what Xiaoguang said, Xiaogang scratched his head and felt a little embarrassed. Although he was a know-it-all about Pokemon, he had only heard a little about the battle system. He had never used it, and Xiaoji hadn't used it either. How could he know which one of the two was more powerful? Xiaoguang, although I also know some things about the battle system, I may not know as much as Xiaojiro of Team Rocket. Xiaojiro knows a lot. Why don't we ask in the group? I'll ask. At that moment, Xiaogang was also based on the attitude of asking in time if he didn't understand something, and planned to type in the group. But when he was about to use his mind to output, he saw Xiaoji's big name hanging in the group. It turned out that Xiaoji couldn't wait to ask. Xiaoji, hello, all champions and kings, which system is more advantageous, Mega Evolution or Gigantamax? Will I be able to Mega Evolution soon in the future? Will I be able to Mega Evolution in the Galar region? If so, should I go to the Galar region as soon as possible? Serena. Wow, Xiaoji, what's wrong with you? We were just chatting and playing happily not long ago, and you are going to skip Kalos and go straight to Galar, right? Are you fascinated by Galar's Kato and Galar's Miss Marie just now? Is this what a man is like? Kurunori. Don't get excited. Don't get excited, boys and girls, don't get excited. Let me tell you, Super Evolution is also called Mega Evolution. It is a system that can be used once in a battle. After using it, all your Pokemon will become super evolved. With Kalno's warm-up and her explanation, Xiaoji finally understood. And he was the first to type an apology to Serena in the chat group, because he didn't react at all before. After all, the girls said he was wooden. And until now, Xiaoji still didn't quite understand what Miss Lila meant by that word in the battle frontier. And with Xiaoji's brief apology, Serena snorted and said she would stop while she was ahead. In fact, she had her own plans in her heart, but now, since Xiaoji will have a super evolution system in the future, it must be very strong. Xiaoji, who has the potential and the maximum boyfriend power in childhood, Serena will naturally seize it. And just now, regarding the enhanced skill attack of the Z skill, as well as the increase and change of the power value of the 3 skill moves in the Dynamite, Serena also understood it all. Darko. As far as I know, Miss Serena definitely has a super evolution system, but she has not used it for some time. Many top champions have battle systems, and Mr. Daigo must have one too, but unfortunately, in this semifinal that is about to start, I don't have one of the 3 systems. If I had, I believe my Darkrai would also become more powerful. Xiaomao. Wow, Darko, your Darkrai is already so powerful, and you still want a battle system. Aren't you just trying to beat Xiaoji to death? Xiaoji. Xiaomao, I am touched that you can speak for me, but please respect my strength a little. I am confident in my Pikachu, my Charizard, and all my other Pokemon, okay. As everyone was chatting in the group, they also saw the referee's explanation on the screen, and they continued to add. Everyone saw the referee said, Gigantamax, Mega Evolution, Z skill, you can only use 1 out of 3. Chibana. Wait. Choose 1 out of 3. Choose 1 out of 3. I know about the Galar region's Dynamax, because I have it too. Can I have Mega Evolution and Z skills in the future? Ha ha ha, Mr. Dante, did you see that? I will definitely challenge you again in the future. At this moment, after Chibana heard the referee's additional explanation in the light curtain, he was a little excited again. He felt that he would definitely be able to compete with Dante again in the future. On the other side, Dante, who was in the rest area of the Gongmin arena at the moment, smiled after hearing what Chibana said, and prepared to make an encouraging response, because Dante was a very dedicated champion in the Galar region. He felt that as long as the leaders of his subordinates, the gym leaders, and the arena leaders were strong, that was enough. However, just when Dante wanted to speak, he didn't say it. And there were many other people who also planned to discuss this three-choice one. It was estimated that Chibana would definitely choose 1 out of 3. Chibana was young and promising. I didn't expect that 5 or 6 years later, Chibana would be such a fierce topic. A system description on the screen confused them. Dakoto. What? The will of the heavens, you said that the one who has 3 systems, is this 18 or 19-year-old future Xiaoji? At this moment, Darko's expression changed for the first time. He was confused. Darko's heart was full of emotional fluctuations at this moment. This kind of emotion had never appeared before him. Darko has always been a very calm trainer, and he also made a lot of preparations before setting off on this trip. And his gym battles along the way were all easy. After all, his level 98 Darkrai was no joke. Moreover, even if he was asked to challenge the champion trainer, Miss Sirona, the champion of the Sinnoh region, Darko was confident that he could directly kill Sirona's team. Just say that a 4-fold restraint freezing beam, can Garchomp withstand it? Even if he is given 100 lives, Garchomp can't withstand it. So, Darko, who is full of confidence at this moment, suffered a big loss in the first round of this so-called Tiandao inventory. He doesn't have a battle system yet. And Xiaoji in the future will actually have 3 battle systems. Because the original words of the Tiandao inventory just now were like this. Special note. For this 8 Masters Swap battle, the rules proposed by the referee are for Xiaoji, who has 3 systems, Mega Evolution System, Z-Skill System, and Gigantamax System. And this short sentence not only confused Darko a little, but also made him a little incoherent, including Shinji, who was defeated by Xiaoji very hard, and his eyes widened at this moment. Shinji. I am now slowly reflecting on my training methods. Xiaoji and I have fought against each other many times along the way. From the time when I easily defeated him, to some stories in the middle, and now I lost to Xiaoji 5, 6. I admit that Xiaoji is gradually improving, but did I expect Xiaoji to be so powerful in the future? The reason why Shinji said so much at this moment. The main reason is still due to his training philosophy. He thinks that Pokemon should be strong, and the strong ones should be carefully selected from the beginning. But Xiaoji thinks that Pokemon all have their own potential, just like the current division of Pokemon levels in the elf world. Even if your Pokemon is only in the most ordinary primary stage, as long as you climb up step by step, as long as you have enough resources, opportunities, and the continuous efforts of the trainer, even a hornworm can become the most powerful super giant. Like Sakari of the Rocket Team, Shinji has also heard of this story. And now, there is a big quarrel in the chat group. Kato. Great. Well done, Xiaoji. Chibana. Ahem, Ms. Kato, shouldn't you support me a little more? Look at how handsome I am in the future. Mary. I didn't plan to say anything because I don't talk much, but Mr. Chibana, I feel that it's not too much for me to call you uncle now. You are a little greasy. You were not like this before. You are very kind. Serena. That's right. And this 3 choose -1 rule also strictly limits Xiaoji's strength. In fact, there should be an additional rule, that is, you can use as many combat systems as you have. After all, this is also a reflection of the trainer's own strength. Dr. Britano. That's very well said. Dr. Kukui. The future Ash in the picture must have obtained his Z-skill in Alola. Show off Alola's powerful Z-skill. Dante. It's amazing. I'm looking forward to this battle between Chibana and Xiaoji. Chibana's Agar-Agar, Smelly, and Aluminum, as well as a series of other ace Pokemon, are all very strong. After all, Chibana is the top trainer in the Galar region second only to me, and in the picture, it is also ranked in the world. Chibana is the 8th trainer in the world, and the Pokemon level should be around level 90. With Mr. Dante's summary. All the group members also reacted suddenly. Yes, it is indeed like this. All the Pokemon of Chibana around level 90 will definitely be able to fight against Xiaoji, or it can be said that it is really difficult for Xiaoji to defeat Chibana. For a while, even Xiaoji's most solid support team lost a little confidence, because it was Mr. Dante who summarized it. Although Mr. Dante said that he was looking forward to it, it was just an expectation for the top trainers, but for Xiaoji's partners, this sentence basically announced Xiaoji's failure. At around level 90, what level is Xiaoji's Pikachu? Level 40 or 50? Or 50 or 60? That's too far. And what level are Xiaoji's other Pokemon? Are they also level 40 or 50, 50 or 60? How can we beat them? Musashi. Hey, can you guys have some confidence in the little devil? You guys are the little devil's partners. Who knows, the little devil in the picture can pull out a legendary Pokemon. At this moment, Musashi was also cheering for Xiaoji, because they couldn't stand that Xiaoji, whom they had been pursuing for so many years, was looked down upon by others, and they still wanted to snatch Xiaoji's Pokemon. If Xiaoji was looked down upon by others, then wouldn't the Rocket's action be completely meaningless? Darko. Hehe, not everyone can have Darkrai like me. Darko left a message in the group, and at the same time he stretched his body and stood up. It's great to have a legendary beast. If you have one, you are awesome. But do you have one, Xiaoji? Darko was still at the Lily of the Valley conference, and his stretching action also won the applause of many ordinary audiences at the scene, because Darko seemed to be very handsome and so strong. Who among ordinary people can have a legendary Pokemon? Xiaoji. How is it possible? Does Xiaoji have to fight Chibana with a legendary Pokemon in the first hand? Haha. Darko enjoyed the applause and was very happy at the same time. He felt that even if he was much worse than Xiaoji in the future in the battle system. But Xiaoji definitely didn't have a legendary Pokemon. For a moment, Darko's momentum, which had been suppressed before, swelled a little. Subconsciously, he was going to continue sitting down, planning to watch this game carefully. The point was, Dakoto wanted to see how the future world number 8 Chibana defeated Xiaoji. But when he just sat down, even before his clothes touched the stool, he suddenly jumped up again. Because the Pokemon that Xiaoji took out in front of him made him feel that his worldview collapsed. When did the legendary beasts become so popular? And it was him. At this moment, in the screen, when Chibana and Xiaoji's 8 Masters swap match officially started, they both threw the ball at the same time. The screen first showed Xiaoji's Pokemon. When a cute orange-yellow figure appeared. Darko was also shocked. Because this is a legendary Pokemon. And it is the legendary Pokemon Dragonite. Kona. Ding ding ding, next we would like to invite the Flying Attributes top-level trainer, the Flying Attributes champion trainer Mr. Adu to express his opinion. Adu, let me emphasize again that I am a trainer specializing in dragon attributes. Although there may be more Pokemon in my team that can fly, this does not interfere with my nature as a dragon attribute trainer. Ms. Kona, please respect me a little, okay? Zyba. Haha, does a dragon attribute trainer mean 6 main Pokemon, 5 flying and 1 dragon? That can really be considered a dragon attribute specialist. As everyone was squeezing Adu at the right time, they actually realized in their hearts that Xiaoji would actually capture a Pokemon like Dragonite in the future. It's really too powerful. No wonder Darko was so surprised just now. Serena. Great. I just checked and Dragonite is also a legendary Pokemon, and its attribute values are very average, and its race value is also very good. I guess its level is also quite high. Serena is comparing the race value description on the Pokemon Encyclopedia at this moment, and she also feels that Xiaoji in this picture should be stable. Because at the same time, Chibana's Pokemon also appeared, it was a desert dragonfly. The upper limit of the race value of the two sides is 600 on one side and 520 on the other side, a total difference of 80 points, which is still a lot. Professor Oak. No, we can't judge a Pokemon's strength based on its race value. Dragonite is very powerful, and its attack and speed attributes are very strong. Dragonite's speed is still a little slower, but it also has its advantages, and its attack is particularly strong. Professor Oak, who is a leader in the Pokemon academic community, also commented on Serena's race value. And at this moment, Dr. Blatino from the Kalos region where Serena is located, also came in to make some additional explanations. Dr. Blatino. Dr. Oak is right. When we watch Pokemon battles, we usually look at 4 aspects. The first is the trainer's on-the-spot command, the second is the state between the Pokemon and the trainer, the third is the Pokemon's own efforts, and the fourth is the Pokemon's racial value and the Pokemon's own strength and level. Strength and level are very important. Dr. Blatino paused for a moment and then added. Dr. Blatino. But since the two sides can fight, the difference in strength should not be too big, so Xiaoji still has hope this time. It can be seen from the fact that his first Pokemon is Dragonite that Xiaoji is pretty good. Accompanied by the explanations of the Pokemon doctors on both sides. The group members in the chat group kept nodding. And at this moment, everyone is also paying attention to the live broadcast on the screen. I saw in the screen. Xiaoji first commanded his Dragonite to use Dragon Dance to increase his attack and speed to a level. On the other side, Chibana commanded his Desert Dragonfly to use Dragon Claws to attack directly. Xiaomao. Xiaoji, you are really awesome. You actually used Dragon Dance to block the claws of the Desert Dragonfly. But Mr. Chibana continued to use Steel Wings to attack. Oh my god, Dragonite dodged it easily. Isn't Dragonite slow? Could it be because of the Dragon Dance? Xiaomao is outside now. He was originally continuing his fossil research, but because of the chat group and the light curtain, he was taking a rest with his Moon Eevee and watching the light curtain together. After Chibana's command did not hit the opponent head-on, he began to seek a change of tactics and directly used a sandstorm weather. Kona. Mr. Chibana's sandstorm weather is very good. And the Desert Dragonfly also has the dragon attribute, so I think Mr. Chibana can be called Weather Master, Dragon Attribute, Pokemon Master. At this moment, Ms. Kona, who is also a top trainer in the 1st district of Kanto, did not forget to squeeze a dew. This is praising Chibana on the surface, but actually squeezing a dew secretly. When Adu saw Kona say this, he scratched his head immediately. There is no way, who made him unable to beat Kona. At this moment, because the sandstorm weather of Chibana's Desert Dragonfly in the picture was opened, the range was very large. So, in the picture, Xiaoji's Dragonite could not see the east, south, west and north. Then the Desert Dragonfly directly used the Dragon Claw and hit the Dragonite head-on. The Dragonite suffered very high damage and couldn't even open its eyes. Alice. It's not good for Xiaoji, one skill follows another. The overall combo of Sandstorm, Dragon Claw, and Steel Wing is too strong. Xiaoji must take action, otherwise Dragonite will soon run out of durability and stamina. Alice. She is a genius trainer in the Unova region, a dragon attribute trainer. As a dragon attribute genius, she also directly pointed out the key problem at the moment. However, in the subsequent scenes, the skills used by Xiaoji to command Dragonite also made countless people feel that Xiaoji seemed to be a little desperate. Because he directly used such a command of Meteor Swarm. It was completely like using an anti-aircraft cannon to hit a mosquito. Whether it can be hit depends entirely on luck. Dakoto. Mr. Chibana is worthy of being the world's number 8 trainer in the future. This time, the idea of the Desert Dragonfly hiding in the sandstorm is very good. Xiaoji in the picture is probably playing blindly with his eyes closed. In this case, if he meets me in the semi-finals in reality, he should have no chance of winning. At this moment, after seeing Xiaoji's performance in the picture, Dakoto also expressed his thoughts. Dakoto's heart has calmed down now. Even if Xiaoji has any outstanding performance, he feels that he will not be surprised anymore, and many other top trainers also nodded. It is understandable that Dakoto lost his composure before, but now the future Xiaoji in the light screen, in the future 9th and 8th confrontation, most of the first game will lose ahead. Is it possible that Xiaoji has other abilities to feel the dynamics of the Desert Dragonfly in the sandstorm? Haha. Is it cheating on the spot? Or is it a perspective cheat? Dragonite uses storm to create a sandstorm. It's right there. Suddenly, Xiaoji in the picture seemed to use some of his abilities to sense something. After Dragonite resolutely executed this set of instructions, the position of the Desert Dragonfly suddenly appeared. You did it so fast. Dragon used the Dragon Claw. As Dragonite concentrated his momentum and power on his fist, the Azure Dragon Claw pounced forward. It also directly caused a great damage to the Desert Dragonfly. Hold on, Dragonite. We can still fight. Dodge Dragonite's claws and continue to hide in the sandstorm. Chibana responded by countering the attack. At this moment, after Ash sensed the position of Dragonite for the first time and attacked it, when Dragonite hit again, Ash planned to continue using Meteor Swarm. But obviously, the second Meteor Swarm did not work either. Dragonite directly used Steel Wings to attack Ash's Dragonite. Ash's Dragonite was knocked to the ground. A small number of future audience members who saw this scene, as well as the audience members of Ash's support team in the real world, were also very anxious. And many audience members at the Lily of the Valley conference were also very anxious at this moment. Because they had been more or less convinced by Ash before. They didn't want Ash's quasi-god level Pokemon Dragonite in the first game to be directly defeated by the first one. Take away a head. If a head is taken away directly, the next two games will definitely be more difficult. But before they can cheer for Xiaoji again, Xiaoji's Dragonite has already fallen to the ground with his eyes spinning. And at this moment, the supporters of Chibana in the picture are also cheering loudly and happily. And at this moment, Chibana in the picture is also waving his right hand to express his happiness and joy to his supporters, as well as interacting with his supporters. As a trainer who is proficient in using social media, Chibana naturally knows that his fans like him, and he must give his fans a full response. And at this moment, many of the audience at the Lily of the Valley conference are also cheering for Chibana. Because Chibana looks really handsome. Well done Mr. Chibana, not only is he very handsome, but he is also a great Pokemon commander. This time, I believe Mr. Chibana will definitely be the one to be counted and exposed. You are the legendary trainer, and you will definitely be able to defeat Dante in the future. Come on, come on. In addition, after Xiaoji lost a small game this time, he didn't panic at all. When I saw this, I knew that Xiaoji should be able to get 1 point or 2 points, as for 3 points, that's impossible. Accompanied by the discussion of the audience on the screen and everyone in the real world. The second game of the game continued directly. Just as everyone said, Xiaoji was very calm and smiled and called out his smiling Pokemon. Acerola. Oh, this is Gengar. This Gengar's smile is so cute. Lilia. Yes. There seems to be a legend of Gengar in our Alola region, but compared to Xiaoji's future Gengar, it seems that this future Gengar doesn't have any scary emotions in it. Lilia likes it so much. Serena. Miss Acerona, Miss Lily, where are you trainers from? Why didn't I see you talking before? Whenever a new girl appears in the chat group, Serena is like a hen protecting her food. Acerola. Let me introduce myself. I am a trainer from the Alola region. My Pokemon is a Mini Q. Lily is also a girl from our Alola region. She knows a lot about Pokemon, but it seems that she has not captured any Pokemon yet. Lily. It's like this, I like Pokemon very much, but I don't know why I'm very resistant to contact with them, but I'm also trying to change, it may take some time. Accompanied by the rapid passing of information in the chat group. The story in the light screen is also continuously playing. When Xiaoji called out Gengar for the second game, the battle between the two sides officially began. Xiaoji's Gengar in the screen was seen to be caught in a defensive counterattack right from the start. Because Chibana commanded his Desert Dragonfly to continue using Steel Wings, and after receiving Xiaoji's instructions to dodge, Gengar immediately responded with a freezing punch. Gengar. Gengar shouted while doubting the freezing punch. Although this freezing punch did not hit the Desert Dragonfly, Gengar was not discouraged. But then, Gengar felt very uncomfortable, because the speed of the Desert Dragonfly in the sandstorm was very fast. And Gengar was also hit directly by the Dragon Claw of the Desert Dragonfly, and he was like a candle in the wind. And Chibana also directly ordered the Desert Dragonfly to catch up and bite it to pieces. Daigo. If the Desert Dragonfly's bite is followed up, Gengar will be in danger. By the way, did you notice before that Ash sensed the position of the Desert Dragonfly in the sandstorm? That situation is very strange. How did Ash sense it? Did he listen to the sound? Or through telepathy? At this moment, Daigo already felt that Gengar would probably be out of the game in the second round. So, He changed the topic and started to find a bright spot for Ash so that everyone could have a good discussion. After all, Daigo still admired Ash very much, and they had gotten along very well before. Nancy. Xiaoji is probably not good at telepathy with Pokemon, but maybe Xiaoji has another ability that can surpass telepathy. Yakushuin. Oh. Miss Nancy is talking about the wave power similar to mine. Think about it carefully. When I met my Lucario and Xiaoji, I did sense the wave power in Xiaoji's heart. It is possible that Xiaoji is a trainer with the ability of wave. Then in this world, Xiaoji and I are the only ones who have the ability to exert the wave. The conversation between Nancy and Yakushuin at this moment made many other group members a little confused. This superpower is easy to explain, and telepathy is easy to explain. But many top trainers don't know much about this ability of wave. And at this moment, when Dakoto saw someone else in the group praising Xiaoji, his eyelids jumped. But after all, he is not a petty person. Dakoto. Dear seniors, fellow colleagues, let's look at it from two perspectives. You see, Gengar is now a dying candle in the wind. And he took this bite and it worked like a charm. Can this Gengar withstand this bite? Dakoto was very confident when he said this. Darko. If you can hold on, let's discuss the wave force, okay. If Xiaoji loses 2 heads, it's actually a waste of our time to discuss it. We might as well spend our energy on Mr. Chibana, who can beat Xiaoji 2-0 and is also an excellent trainer. As soon as Darko finished speaking, he was recognized by many people in the first 3 seconds. But it seemed as if Darko was unlucky today. In the 4th second, countless top trainers began to turn against him. Because Xiaoji's Gengar is really too powerful. He didn't fall even after taking so many skills. And at this moment, Gengar laughed. Gengar. It's very morale boosting. And after thinking for a while, Xiaoji in the picture resolutely took Gengar back and lit up his Gigantamax wristband. Gengar's Gigantamax was performed. This set of operations simply made Darko confused. However, this set of operations also made Xiaoji's most loyal supporters and Xiaoji's partners feel particularly happy. Happy Kingming outing and reading. Boga Boga. Pika Pika. Come on. Good job. Gengar, go, go. At this moment, Pikachu, Pogamon, Don, Brock, Agent and many other trainers in the chat group are cheering for Ash. They all know Ash to some extent, and they are all attracted by his spirit and passion to some extent. And at this moment, they are also doing their best to cheer for Ash and Gengar, because this Gengar's combat power is really good. And everyone can see that this Gengar's ability will definitely be greatly enhanced after this super jauntization. It is definitely not just an improvement in physical strength. Dr. Mulan. It seems that Xiaoji's mastery of Dynamax in the future is really good, and his Gengar also has amazing potential. And I don't know if you have noticed that you may not know much about the Galar region, so you are still not very clear about Dynamax and Super Dynamax. Let me give you a simple explanation. With Dr. Mulan's explanation, many viewers and group friends who had previously mixed up Dynamax and Super Dynamax suddenly woke up. And because Dr. Mulan is a Pokemon doctor who specializes in Dynamax in the Galar region. So Dr. Mulan's explanation is particularly detailed and easy to understand. It turns out that there is still a difference between Dynamax and Super Dynamax. And everyone also knows that Dynamax and Super Dynamax are two concepts. Almost all Pokemon can be Dynamaxed, and its size will become larger. And the durability will increase, and the skills will become skills with special attributes. But the number of Super Dynamax Pokemon is very small. And after they are Super Dynamaxed, their appearance changes, and their skills also have additional attributes. And, to put it simply, the Pokemon that can Gigantamax are extremely powerful. Dante. Dr. Mulan has explained it in great detail. And this time, after Xiaoji's Gengar has undergone Gigantamaxing, just as Dr. Mulan said, the skills have changed, the durability has changed, and the appearance has changed. Next, let's see if Chibana will change and light up his Gigantamaxing system. Cabana. Wow, this battle made me a little excited, but I believe that in the future I will be able to perfectly withstand Gengar's Gigantamax. To be honest, Xiaoji's strength is really good. Xiaoji. Great. I didn't expect my future self to be so powerful. I have to learn from my future self's performance. But isn't it a bit of a loss for Gengar to use Gigantamax after being beaten to a low health state? Kato, Xiaoji, you are so smart. That's true, so generally, when our Galar trainers use the battle system, they use it the same way as at the beginning. The health of the Pokemon will increase when it is in full state, but I believe Xiaoji, you will definitely have a chance to win. Just like what is being discussed in the communication group now, many people have begun to look favorably on Xiaoji. After all, Chibana in the light curtain has not made any moves, and on Xiaoji's side, the Gigantamax Gengar has successfully appeared. After both hands slapped on the ground, the Gigantamax Gengar has also increased a lot compared to before. The volume almost occupies half of the entire battlefield. At the same time, the sandstorm weather has not ended, so although everyone is very confident, they are also very worried. But it seems that Xiaoji in the light curtain sensed everyone's worries, or Xiaoji in the light curtain has already thought about how to solve this sandstorm weather. Gengar swallowed the sandstorm into his stomach to break the sandstorm weather. We can't let the sand dragon attack us in the desert weather. Just as Xiaoji said in the light curtain, Gengar opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the sandstorm weather completely. At the same time, the sand dragon was stunned. No trainer had ever eaten the weather directly before. It seemed that Xiaoji seized the opportunity of the sand dragon and used the Gigantamax skill directly. Gengar uses Gigamax Phantom Ghost. Accompanied by Xiaoji's command, several furniture sets suddenly appeared in front of Gengar. There were shoes, hats, teapots, tables, chairs. In an instant, the Gigamax Phantom Ghost attacked the Desert Dragonfly directly, and the Desert Dragonfly suddenly panicked. Desert Dragonfly, get out of the way. Although Chibana's reaction was also very fast. But inevitably, Desert Dragonfly was still hit by the Gigamax Phantom Ghost. Gengar, let's continue to use the Giganotomus. In an instant, a magical Giganotomus fell directly from the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, countless huge stars hit the Desert Dragonfly head-on. In a burst of extremely thick pink smoke. When the smoke dissipated, the referee rushed to the scene as soon as possible. The Desert Dragonfly also fell directly to the ground, his eyes spinning. Desert Dragonfly cannot lose its fighting ability in battle. Gengar wins this match, with a total score of 1-1. With this clean and neat announcement from the referee, everyone inside and outside the court was in an uproar. Oh my god, I didn't expect Xiaoji's Gengar to be able to turn the tables. He had been hit by Mr. Chibana's Steel Wing and a set of bite combos, coupled with the Dragon Claw, and it seemed that he had no way to fight back, but he didn't expect that he could turn the tables in such a desperate situation. Mr. Chibana is the pride of Galar. He must keep his place as one of the 8 masters. This is the last position change. If Mr. Chibana loses, he will not have the chance to challenge Mr. Dante this time. As many audience members in the light screen discussed, they did not want Chibana to lose. Although they were also very optimistic about Xiaoji, they hoped that the sunny and handsome Mr. Chibana, who was a local, would win. Serena. Great, Mr. Chibana's Desert Dragonfly. I think it must be at least level 80 to 90. Since Xiaoji was able to defeat Mr. Chibana with his Giganta, does that mean this Gengar is also around level 80? Such a high level. Different from the audience in the future in the light screen. Serena in the real world is very supportive of Xiaoji. And she thinks that supporting Xiaoji in the future is supporting Xiaoji in the present, because they are the same. Serona. Actually, it can be understood this way, but because it has a super giant bonus, it is possible that the level is not that high. However, considering Gengar's performance, this Gengar definitely has extraordinary potential, and Xiaoji has trained it very well. Serona also praised Xiaoji at the first time, because Xiaoji is indeed performing very well now. But after thinking about it carefully, Miss Serona felt that she should be more rigorous. Serona. But you have to know that in the picture, Mr. Chibana in the future is about to take out his second Pokemon. I have a feeling that the second Pokemon will be a very strong Pokemon, which is not easy to deal with. After thinking for a while, Miss Serona expressed her thoughts. And Miss Serona's fair statement was also recognized by everyone. Darko. Miss Serona is right. But the current situation is that Ash's Gigantamax Gengar in the light curtain only has one skill left. And Mr. Chibana still has 2 full status Pokemon. Look, Mr. Chibana took out his own slimy dragon. This Pokemon's attributes are also very good, and it is a pure dragon Pokemon, and its special defense is also very high. When Darko saw the careful analysis of Sinnoh champion Miss Sorona, she was also very happy. And he continued to improve Chibana's strength. Darko. And what's the more crucial point? Smelly is also a quasi-god level Pokemon. Mr. Chibana is really excellent and has such a powerful Pokemon. Accompanied by Darko's one-shot hit. Many group friends at the scene also paid attention to Darko's very correct statement. And many other trainers at the scene of the Lily of the Valley conference are also making continuous inquiries. Although they can't find some specific information, they can see the racial value. For a while, everyone also felt that a full-status Smelly can easily beat a Gigantamax Gengar with only 1 skill left. What can Xiaoji use to fight? Use his head. Thanks for watching.